Kind of making
I tried doing that, intro to what's required, and realized we meet up with so it's too late. I'm a very slow reader, and I'm reading 2 Shakespeare novels for every class, 2 to 3 classes a week. I'm dying. All I'm doing is reading. I can't do it. So I was able to switch to the past, but it was good to do it. I don't teach So we missed you when you went to life. Yeah, that was good. Nice to see you back. Anytime you want to buy, one of us would like to be able to school sucks. That would just stick with me. I like a lot of scouts. Pretty much so when for years scouts
and then that makes sure that it enhances the story, right?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. What we found was that
military is far more accepting now than it was 5 years ago. Military is now far more accepting than it was 5 years ago.
I'm going front row. Raise my hand.
There we go.
Right? No, we're the people that actually use it. This is real guys.
That makes Tabernacle.
Probably check me out soon. Yeah, I do.
How long have you been?
Like 7 months.
So what I'm saying is,
I know.
So you know there's a.
Fuck like Tabernacle.
Go front row.
I don't know anything about the personas at the top, other than disagreed with it, and was hoping that would have to address it.
the picture that matters to real diversion, not what matters. So the fact of the matter is that 50% of the league who you gonna offend? Well,
No, it's just
The Tabernacle was part of the last.
I guess. I just wanted
Plenty of
to
years before.
TPP.
I had plenty of years before the
Sometimes
did
you
he
leave
express
the meeting and you know, say, well, I'm really confused, or you have more questions. I want you to feel free to email me.
call the meeting to order, please, and everyone please take a seat and stand up for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine notice, this meeting is called pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of August 24th, 2015 was included in the list of notices sent to the Central Record, Burlington County Times, and Courier Post. Posted on the bulletin board in Town Hall and has remained continuously posted as required notice under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call, Mr. Barton.
Present.
Mr. Franzen.
Here.
Mr. Lee.
Here.
Mr. Yates.
Here.
Mayor Brown. Thank you.
Thank you, LaShawn. We're going to open up the meeting for public comment on agenda items first, but since a lot of you are here for the first time tonight and are here for a specific purpose, I wanted to let you know that we will discuss the modified access plan. We'll have a brief presentation by some of the state representatives after we go through our agenda. And as we get to the part where we normally open the meeting to public for comment. So this first public comment is going to be just to agenda items. And if you'd like to make a comment, I ask that you come forward, stand under the microphone in the ceiling, state your name and record for the address, and let us know what's on your mind. And we do time, we do say about 3 minutes for your comments. Anyone? Yes.
Good evening, Stuart Brooks, Forest Meadow Road, Tabernacle. I have a question on Resolution 2015-113. That's the review of the fire district audit. Here, this might be for you. The resolution speaks of the committee members certifying that they personally reviewed the audit. What does it mean to personally review the audit? And I also have another question about, I'm not sure how you want me to handle the other question, wait for the response or not, but the other question has to do on the public comment part regarding the presentation. Or do you want us to ask questions about that before the presentation? Because the presentation might answer a lot of those questions.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll do the presentation, and then if you have questions on that, I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to ask the questions. That's probably the best way to handle that.
All right, thank you. Then that's my sole question about the resolution. I also have questions about the bill list.
Sure. The elected official's responsibility is to familiarize yourself with the audit, and especially its findings or recommendations.
Does that mean that they read the whole thing? They might not read the whole thing?
I don't know. They should familiarize themselves with it. They should especially what I would tell them is they should spend a special focus on any recommendations or conclusions.
All right.
I mean, I don't expect, and I don't think the public expects them to be auditors or CPAs or accounting professionals. So I think it's reasonable to expect that they would familiarize themselves with the general content of the report and pay a particular attention to any findings or recommendations.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the bill list, I have 3 or 4 questions. First is listed as ALP 50, ALP, short for Alpha. Design and install sign on firehouse. Could someone explain what that is?
Doug, you just want to quickly take that? Okay. That's the sign that is over top of the center door on the old portion of the firehouse. That was replaced. It said Memphis Barnes and Ford, now so it's Tabernacle Fire Company #1.
Thank you. The next item is ALT 56 Atlantic Coast Hotsy regarding hose repair and parts. Which truck needed the hose repair and the parts?
That was parts for the pressure washer.
Next, ELA 90 Blaze Emergency Equipment, $2,045 charge for chassis pump generator service. Which trucks are received that service in those parts?
$43.17 says on top there is the first bill for $1,020. $43.18 is the second one, $1,025.
Okay, the last question is the next bill, Burlington County BCIT for firefighter 1 training. Who received that training?
Sean Colton and Christian Hafner.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Anyone else on the agenda items? Yes.
Fran Brooks, 78 North Meadow Road. I just have a couple questions on the bill list as well. Let's see, I think this is page 2. The first one, Garden State Highway Products, signs, poles, and supplies. What was that charge for?
Welcome to Tabernacle Signs.
Okay. Where are they?
Some are up along Green, one's up along Grange Road, one's up along Old Indian Mills. We have not gotten the rest of them up.
How many?
There's 10 of them.
And let's see, there's also the next charge, GIB 50, Giberson Plumbing and Excavation, Emergency DEM, I'm not sure what DEM stands for, maybe.
Demolition.
Fire scene, what was that all about, $4,000?
That was to tear down a portion of the house at the fire at 148 Patty Broder Road under the direction of the construction official.
And and the HOL 75, Holman, Frenier, Allison, letters, PNC, the bank, district accounts, what were those letters expressly about?
They were engagement letters. I'm going to guess based on this, they were the letters that we needed for the fire district accounts and the cars. They were the letters that were needed for the banks when we closed the accounts on the fire district.
Okay, thank you, that'll be it.
Anyone else on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on. I'll ask for a motion to approve the bills. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Ford?
Yes.
Mr. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Next on the agenda, approval of the minutes from the August 10th, 2015 meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Thornton?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Mr. Yates? Deputy Mayor Franzen?
Yes. Next on the agenda is second reading of ordinance 2015-10, which is an ordinance for various capital improvements. This is the public hearing on that ordinance, and what we'll do is we'll open it to public comment on the ordinance. And again, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Come up under the microphone, station and address for the record, and tell us what you're asking, your questions, make your comments. Yes, ma'am.
Mary Ann Silvers, 21 North Drive, Tabernacle. I am the president of the Tabernacle Historical Society, celebrating 40 years of service to the town. The society takes pride in the Friendship Schoolhouse, the Tabernacle Cemetery, outbuildings and arch, and the Night Pepper House, all located on Carenza Road, by preserving, promoting, and educating the public. Through our efforts, we have cataloged and tagged all the items belonging to the society, and were given the Burlington County Preservation and Recognition Award in 2013 by Joe Law Firm. The society wants to thank the township for taking care of the grounds at the cemetery and at the Pepper House. The Knight Pepper House was built in 1860 by Gilbert Knight, who served in the Civil War. The Pepper House is owned by the township, however, it was renovated in 1980s by the society. They took off the stucco siding, the lean-to shed, and the porch, and eliminated the electricity and water supply. They replaced the stucco with cedar siding to look like it once did in the 1800s. Now the Pepper House is in dire need of new windows, a new roof, authentic-looking doors and overhangs, repair to the cellar steps, water damage to the interior chimney, and extermination of termites. We are presently working on the termite problem from a donation of service by Roy Wormley of Alliance Pest Management. We do need to take up the kitchen floor and take out the dirt that is in the crawl space, thus eliminating some of the pest problems. Our Strawberry Social in June gives us enough money to pay for a scholarship of $500 to a Tabernacle senior who has shown interest in history. Our best ever chicken barbecue proceeds go to our liability insurance of $1,200 for buildings and to hold our meetings in the town hall. We are forever trying to build up our membership, so if anyone would like to join us, please come out to our meetings on the second Thursday of every month at 7:30 at Town Hall. The Tabernacle Historical Society supports the bond ordinance wholeheartedly. We ask for your help with your liability insurance and maintaining the Pepper House, thus preserving our crest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Anyone else on the bond issue? Yes, ma'am.
Glenn Brooks, Moore's Meadow Road. These questions may be best answered by Mr. Finley, because I'm trying to do get an understanding of how many bonds we have at this point that have been currently issued. And if any of them include the $850,000 bond that was adopted or in September 2014, and the fire truck. Those are the only two at this point I could identify. How many bonds do we have that are currently issued?
We have we haven't done a bond for the 800,000.
Okay.
We only have the one bond that we did, the big one we did in 2013.
I'm sorry, and what was that one for?
That was for
The emergency services building, some road issues, some roads.
Okay.
We consolidated a few bays.
Okay. But any other bonds have been retired and none have been issued, others have been issued. Is that right? Okay. I just needed to clarify that. What are can you tell me what the total payments and principal and interest along with council fees for the one bond that we still have out? For the ESB building and some road work, what the total payments are for that?
For this year, or?
Yeah, you could give them, just for 2015.
I don't have that in front of me, but I can give it to you after the meeting.
Okay. I know there was in the current budget that was adopted, that there's a $420,000 payment. Is that what that is for exclusively with some interest, and then there are also notes in it? Okay, that helps that. Can you tell me, Mr. Henry, how much debt we are carrying in Tabernacle? Can you clarify that as well? Because I was trying to figure that out. I'm just trying to get some
We'll
background.
answer the questions, but the topic really is the ordinance.
Well, it is
And
related.
it's kind of
to it.
related, but,
Well,
it's
so it is
stretching it
related.
a little bit, so.
I can give you that.
Okay, that would be helpful. And with regard to the bond ordinance, it is substantially more than what was proposed in September 2014, the $850,000 bond that was never issued, actually, from what you just said. And what accounts for the substantial difference? Because this new one that you're proposing is $2.3 million. So what accounts for this substantial
I think
change?
you should have a copy of the ordinance itself, and it really does outline what all the expenses are in the bond. Is that what your question is?
Well, I see all of that, but I guess what I'm trying to find out is why was it that $850,000 was sufficient back in September of 2014, and now you're issuing, you're asking to issue, you want to issue a bond that's $2.3 million. So I'm trying to understand what is behind this, the decision to issue such a large, to want to issue such a large bond.
We had a capital bond proposal presented to us a couple of meetings ago by the township administrator, and he went over all the things that he wanted to get caught up on and put out the bond, and we went through that with him. In fact, I think we asked him to go back and give us a further report on some of this stuff. So, to answer your question, I think the only thing I would say is that it's just different stuff than it was a year ago. It's a lot more stuff.
Yeah, that it is.
Yeah,
That it is.
exactly.
Okay. I guess my other question with this is, how does this bond request fit into the current 2015 budget and any subsequent budgets in the subsequent years? Is there going to be, for example, are you going to need an emergency appropriation for 2015 in the event this budget, you start paying on this budget in 2015? I mean,
Actually, this is the bond ordinance, so
Right.
any financing for this particular ordinance won't take effect until 2016, or whenever we do the financing for that.
Okay, so you're not planning to try and issue this bond for 2015? This is for at least 2016?
Correct.
Okay, this
And
is-
even if we did issue it this year, it would go for at least a year, so we wouldn't pay anything this year.
Okay. And let me just, so is there any anticipation that adopting this $2.3 million bond is going to cause taxes to rise? Has there been any discussion about raising taxes because you're you want to issue a $2.3 million bond.
Not at this point.
Not at this point. No one on the committee is talking about raising taxes.
No, you never know. But I would, I mean, we've been very conservative, as you know, with taxes over the last several years, and seldom do you see the rate go up every year. And that, I don't have an alarm set here. That wasn't 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Thank you, Mayor Franklin. Stuart Brooks, 78 Road. Thank you for answering questions as they come up, rather than holding them. Question on the part of the bond that covers the community center. Could you discuss or explain what's the need for it? I understand that there's a need for people in groups to congregate, but for example, I now know that the Historical Society meets in this building. Are there other buildings, such as the emergency services buildings, such as the schools, which are traditionally community buildings? Are there other buildings in town that would serve that need, that would require a new building or refurbished building? And more precisely, just what is that need? Who needs to meet? How often do they meet? How many meetings are we trying to accommodate? Do we need to accommodate? Sequoias in the school is another example. It would have been nice to have had that building available to the township. And that certainly could have served a lot of these needs. But that's the gist of the question. How else, or what other alternatives are there other than the bonding for the improvements that are being proposed? And the other question is that there was a discussion at one of the last meetings, maybe not the very last one, the one before that, where the committee was discussing whether these improvements would actually be made or whether it was wiser just to bond them, get the money, and then decide. My personal opinion is that that's an unwise idea. Bonding is to make long-term investments, to build infrastructure to meet long-term needs. You do it when you need to do it, and because it'll benefit people for many years down the road. But if you don't know how you're going to spend the money now, it just seems unwise to raise the money now. That could become money that is burning a hole in your pocket that you just need to spend, figuratively speaking, or it could become money that just casually gets moved from one line item to the other. And I say that because every bond issue seems to have the language that says it's for improvements A, B, C, D, or E, and then anything else that we might, actually not anything else we might think of, but similar, very liberal language that allows spending that you don't anticipate. And if you could answer those questions,
We do anticipate that there is use for the building. We have probably 4 or 5 organizations, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, TWA, Athletic Association, the ones that come to mind off the top of my head, that we want to provide a meeting place. But moreover than that, this building is tired. We don't want this building to continue to be overused and with lots of meetings and things going on in here. We'd like to see a community center where people can call it their own and have their meetings in that place. And I think that was always the intent of taking that building, or receiving the building, I should say, when the emergency squad donated it to us. It was to make it into a community center for that kind of stuff. And we would like to move forward in that regard. I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to add to that, but that's briefly what I said. Anyone else wants to speak to the ordinance? If not, we'll close public comment on the ordinance, and we'll ask if there's any discussion, questions we want to have up here. If not, like to have a motion to adopt this ordinance.
I'll make the motion to adopt ordinance 2015-10.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Franzen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolutions, street opening permits, handle them together? Sure. We have two resolutions, 111 and 112, for street openings at 190 Carranza and 139 Brace. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it, but I still want to know what's going on with the gas company with the problem we have on Big Road.
Maybe before we take a vote, Doug, can you give us a quick update on that?
Before I went away on vacation, I tried a number of times to try to get two parties together. And we seem to be at an impasse right this minute over time selection of when the gas company is available and when the residents are available. I have, since being back, I have not pursued it at this point in time. But I would like to see whether, what the committee's feeling is on moving forward, whether we still need to meet the resident or whether we should just negotiate with South Jersey Gas for funding towards the repairs.
Well, with that being said, I think we need to put a little bit more pressure on South Jersey Gas, so I withdraw my second.
Excuse me, I can't hear you. I don't
Okay,
know what
please.
you're talking about.
Okay. We don't
We
have
don't have to
interruptions.
get to hear?
Yeah, there's some seats in front, so
Oh, okay. No, I mean, you were turning that way, so I couldn't
No,
really.
reading at the same time I was talking
Okay.
there. I said I withdraw my second.
Well, I didn't hear the issue.
Yeah, you can't
Please.
interrupt the meeting, please. We'll try to be a little louder for you,
Thank
thank you.
Okay, is there a second for these two resolutions? I'll make the second.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
No.
Mr. Yates?
No.
Deputy Mayor Franzen?
Yes. So the resolutions do not pass. And Joe, would you like us to do something specific with South Jersey Gas?
Yeah, I mean,
You want them to come here again, or?
well, I want them to address the issue. And right now, I feel as though they keep skirting the issue. We have a resident who's has a problem. And I don't think we should approve any more street openings until South Jersey Gas acts on this.
There seems to be an issue with the timing of the meeting. The resident wants a meeting during a certain time. South Jersey Gas wants the meeting at a certain time, and they can't agree. So as far as I'm concerned, that's why I voted no as well. I'd like to, South Jersey Gas got to be flexible for the resident, in my opinion, in terms of meeting time. Let the residents have, they go to work, they want it in the evening, South Jersey Gas ought to make themselves available, be there in the evening for the meeting. And I said 2 weeks ago that I wanted to see some action and something happening with this Gate Road issue, and that's why I voted no. I should be no secret as to why I voted no, because I made it clear for at least 2 weeks where I stood. So I think there needs to be a meeting between the resident, the township, and South Jersey Gas to get the issues resolved on Gate Road. Prior to the cutting open of the street, which we approved, there were no water issues because the resident had taken it upon themselves to fix the water issues some years ago. Now the line goes in, they hit it. Very simply, the road's in different condition now than it was before South Jersey Gas got there. South Jersey Gas needs to recognize that. I think they do. There seems to be an issue between contractor and South Jersey Gas and resident and township. Until that gets fixed, I'm not voting for another street opening permit. And I like South Jersey Gas. I'm glad that they're here, and I'm glad that the residents are getting gas, but I'm not sure what other leverage we have other than this, which I really don't like doing, but I don't know where else we are. And Doug, you may have a better insight into where we can go, but I'm not sure what else to do.
Now you've answered my question, we'll leave it up to him.
Okay? See if we can get some answers then. Next resolution is the fire district audit resolution. We're saying, as Peter said earlier, that at a minimum, we've read the general comments and recommendations, which, including my notes, are pages 31 and 32 in the audit. And basically, it looks to me like, that everything is okay with this. So is there a motion to accept the audit?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Barton? Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Franson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next is a change order for Tuckerton Road. Maybe we can, introduce us and then ask Doug to describe what's going on with this. So there's a motion to approve change order number 1. Just to get it on the table so we can talk about it.
I'll make the motion, but didn't want to discuss it.
Second. Hey, Doug, can you tell us about this? And I think the next resolution is also related to this one.
Okay. As you know, we did a shared service with Chemung Township to apply for DOT grants to pave Tuckerton Road from Old Indian Mills Road to as far as the grant would take us. They made an estimate on where it was, and when we got to that point, we had some money left in the funding. Thinking 2 months ago, we had talked slightly about that we were going to continue all the way to Fork Neck Road, that there would be a slight overreach over the top of the grant, and that's what the change order is from. The work is complete. It took Chemung a while to pass they're the lead agency on that. That's why it took a while for us to get this change order. Is the delay in getting through everything. It has been complete. Of all this change amount of $77,000, our portion outside the grant is approximately $14,000. So we finished paving the road from somewhere around about halfway between Gate Road and Fork Neck is where the original contract stopped, and the change order was under the 20%. So we finished up to Fork Neck Road and paved the apron out onto Fork Neck Road, which in our case was, our side was in worse shape than Chemung's side, and that was the portion. So I probably brought this up a number of months ago and talked about that we were going to continue to try to use up all the grant. So that's where we're at. So we finished the road for about $14,000 in additional funding.
Questions? Okay. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Francis?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 115 is to submit a grant application for Oak Shade Road project. Again, can we get a motion again on the table and then ask Doug to...
So moved.
Second. Doug?
This is the 2016 municipal aid or DOT road improvement. The 15 one we are presently doing up at Lakes Road. We're in the process of going out to bid for that, complete that. Frank and I discussed what we thought was our best chance, which gave us the most points towards getting it funded again. We've been reasonably successful over the last 8 to 9 years of getting a grant each year. So this was the best item. It ties into our bicycle lane that we're presently running down Medford Lakes Road. It will allow that to to be added to go on into Shimon Township, and also provide a bicycle lane for the residents in those subdivisions to get all the way over to this side of town, including the school, with bicycle lanes. So that's what our proposal is.
Questions? Yeah. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Franson?
Yes.
Thank you.
116 is the municipal park development grant with the county. This is a request to submit that grant. Again, we get a motion, get on the table so Doug can discuss.
So moved.
Second.
Doug?
This is the annual Burlington County Municipal Park Grant Program. We've been successful in getting two different $250,000 grants. One of them we are presently almost through with the snack stand. The second one we have bought and installed 4 ADA accessible bleachers at Patty Boger Park, working in conjunction with the Community Development Block Grant to put the pathways and the pads in underneath. We are working on the last year's Community Development Block Grant to finish putting pads in at Prickett's Mill, ball fields, softball fields, and also the remaining fields at Patty Boger. Under the old grant, we bought another 8 handicap accessible bleachers. They're presently located in the Public Works Garage and will be constructed by the department once we finish the brush pickup. We are now applying for another $250,000 grant to redo the tennis court, which you may or may not be aware is in disrepair. It's been over 20 years since we built that park. We have refurbished it twice by the age of the asphalt, and it is some depressions have developed in it, and this is to take that court up, repair the base, and put down a new court on top. Also to fill the cracks and recoat the 2 basketball courts, provide some additional bleachers up there and a gazebo or a shelter, and install security, camera and light and pole up at that end of it, and also one at the playground, so that we have some kind of monitoring system that monitors off-site, that we can keep an eye on both those facilities. And we've asked for another $250,000. That, and with your approval, we will put the grant package together and submit it before the end of September.
Is that when they're due October 1?
September 25th this year.
Okay, Joe? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Franson?
Yes.
Thank you.
117 deals with pulling back, I'm not sure what the technical term is, but we'll ask Peter to explain that once we get it on the table. Motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Peter?
This is the next step in the process to make a claim against the letter of credit concerning Bud Court in order to get the paving completed out there. So we had to wait 30 days since Mr. Morris served the demand and estimate based upon the cost of the improvements and inspections. And so this is our first opportunity to adopt this resolution and move forward to make a claim with that.
Okay, finally. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Franson?
Yes.
Thank you.
And it looks like it's time for the,
One more, 118.
yeah, that's, I'm just going to say, it looks like it's time to put out the disposal of trash bid again. I think we do this every, is it 5 years or 10 years?
5 years.
5 years. Is there a motion to authorize Doug to go out to bid for this?
So moved.
Second.
We need to discuss it any further. Okay, with it. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you, Mr. Barton.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Yates.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Franson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have state agency report or state police report. I'm going to ask that the gentleman from the state police address us first. I think, did you have a presentation you wanted to make, or?
I just had a few things to add, sir. That's it.
Could you identify yourself for our record, please?
My name is Trooper Scheibel, out of the Red Line Barracks. Do you guys have any questions, or? I'm just gonna say, I know you guys probably want to know about the burglaries and everything like that, but most of them are active investigations, so I can't really comment. All I can say is from my experience, just keep everything locked, because they're not going in with forced entry, they're just opening doors. That's all they're doing. So if you keep your doors locked, you shouldn't have any problems.
Would you take some general questions if people
Yeah,
have
absolutely, sir.
questions about anything? Anyone?
And I can also add, I mean, you guys are part of the community, so we can only cover so much area. We're increasing patrols in every town, but we need your eyes too. So if you see anything suspicious, you see anything that just doesn't seem like it belongs there, call us. We'll come out and check it out, and we'll deem whether it's suspicious or not.
Do you guys have the opportunity to view the Facebook pages for the towns under your jurisdiction and to see what people are saying about these different things? I know I often see somebody says, oh, there was this white van or this vehicle or another vehicle, you know.
I personally am not, sir.
Is that something that the barracks has the ability to do, or not really?
I'm not sure if they have, but I'll pass it on to them.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes you see some tips there that, you know, we don't see elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Trooper, I had a question. You see in our town, we have a lot of beautiful bicycle paths on Carranza Road, on Route 532, and you heard tonight we're going to try to connect Oak Shea Road. What is the rules of engagement with bicycles? One of the things I notice is you'll be coming down New Road, and it's a double solid line, and there's 100 bicycle riders, and they're four abreast. And you can't get around them because it's a double line. And, you know, it's a 40-mile-an-hour road.
If they're going with traffic, they're allowed to do that.
They're allowed to take up the whole road?
I mean, that's one of those things where it's, you know, it's very touchy. I really don't know too much about it. I mean, I've never stopped them, so I've never even seen them out here riding, to be honest.
Saturday morning, New Road.
I'll come check it out there.
Would you be able to look at what that law is and get back to me? I'll be happy to call the barracks.
Yes.
Because it doesn't make sense to me that 100 bicycle riders can ride on a road with a double line and take up the whole lane doing 15 miles an hour. Maybe 10, 15 miles an hour.
I agree.
You know, when there is a bike lane that they should be riding.
That's the whole reason why the bike lane's there. It's for them to use, not the road. So to share the road with the motors.
The complaints from the cyclists that I've talked to about that say that the bike lane is not clean enough. Because it's got rocks and whatnot, with tires are sitting there to begin with.
Well, they need to have a work program.
Right. Or either that or drag a blue ladder
Go to another town and ride their bike.
Yeah, I'm with you, believe me.
Officer, would you be able to tell us, I know like Deputy Mayor Franson stated, there's been a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I know you stated that the break-ins have been unlocked cars, but on Facebook, people are saying that their cars are getting broken into even when they're locked. Now, there was an incident yesterday. There was a combination of, I guess, Lee Drive, Summit, Fox Hill. You had the state police chopper. Everybody in the neighborhood was wondering what was going on.
I actually haven't even heard about that yet, sir.
Really?
So, I'll have to take a look at it. But I don't. They didn't release any information on that yet?
The group's called Tabernacle Township.
I did hear there was a chopper out there. My buddy from another department actually texted me. I actually didn't even see what it was, to be honest.
No, I know there was three patrolmen in the area. I actually did stop them and speak with them. They wouldn't give me too much information other than they were looking for somebody in
Yep, I'm sure once
khaki shorts and
once it's
and
over.
glasses, and I happened to be wearing khaki shorts at the time, so it didn't look too good. But, no, I didn't have the glasses on, thank God. But
I think whatever it was, I think they did get whoever.
they did.
I don't know what it was, but I know they apprehended somebody, so.
Because I know one of the questions that arose, I should say, was that the gentleman they were after also had a gun. That's what's coming across Facebook. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wasn't in last night, so.
But you know, my whole thought was is if that's fact, then the officers who were on the scene should have notified everybody.
Absolutely.
That, you know, it's not safe to be outside.
Well, I'm sure if that was what happened, they would have notified everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, please identify yourself for the record.
Alan Rose, 4 Waltham Drive. Is there any pattern to the break-ins, daylight, nighttime, 3 in the
From
morning?
what I've investigated, it's all nighttime.
All nighttime?
From what I've investigated, my investigations have all been nighttime. It's not just Tabernacle, it's everywhere. Including, I live in Mercer County and they're hitting my town too. So it's multiple people doing it and it's just a crime of opportunity. That's all it is.
Somebody over here? Yes, ma'am.
Barbara Lombardo, Old Benjamin Mills Road, Tabernacle. According to people on Facebook, they submitted surveillance video to state police from their cameras, but yet I never see that out there anywhere. I mean,
If they did submit that, they're currently investigating that, so I can't comment on
But
that.
shouldn't you put that out there so maybe somebody might recognize them?
They would, if it was something that would, you know, the public could help with, they would, trust me, they would release that.
Where would they put that? Because I've never seen anything.
They would put it out with the news. They wouldn't withhold that information if they had something.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? And thank you for being here
No problem,
tonight. Answering questions for us. Continuing with reports and state agencies, we do have some people from the DEP who would like to make a brief presentation about the mobile access plan. I always get that first word. Motorized access.
Okay.
And we'll ask that they do that. Maybe they can introduce themselves, and then they will take questions that you have, and the same rules will apply. You have 3 minutes for a question. We ask that you come up, stand under the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and ask your questions. Okay?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, Councilman, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the State Park Service, my name is Tom Keck. I'm the Regional Superintendent in South Jersey. And Bob Barrymore, who is the Superintendent of Oregon State Forest, the largest state forest in New Jersey, he was giving a presentation down in Hamilton. I do believe he's en route. So if he should come up the steps and I'm in the middle of the stride, I will probably defer to him for the rest of the presentation, okay? What we have in front of you are 2 different documents, both of which are online. I did bring a copy of each one. The Wharton State Forest Motorized Access Plan is designed so that the many activities that are in the forest, so that we can provide as many activities as possible and making accessibility to the visitors who are driving on-road motor vehicles, know where they're driving, and since all these are GPS routes, even though GPS doesn't necessarily help you in all cases out in the woods, all these trails and all of these routes that you see on the map have been GPS. There's 225 miles currently on this draft map on the forest. It informs first time as well as long-term visitors to the park of the many opportunities, the many roads that bisect and trisect and transect the woods. The Park Service is implementing this plan to ensure wide and safe access to the forest while also ensuring that the forest is protected for today's visitors as well as our future generations coming after us. The funding that was provided to generate this plan NAP for short, Motorized Access Plan